Make sure we're recording. It's already recording. Okay. All right. Can everybody hear me? You guys can hear me, just react or leave a comment in the chat, please. Just trying to make sure we're all set. Still admitting some people in here, so. There we go. Some messages. Camille. Hey, how's it going? Who else is in there? Stella. Okay. Cool. Let's just wait until I think some more people are still trying to come in, so I'll just accept them here and wait a couple of minutes. Yes. Let's see. Around 20, I believe. Yeah, I got the count here, it says 20.
My screen says 26, Omar.
Does it?
Yeah.
I get 23 on my end. Yeah, around, oh, there we go. Yeah, 26. Let's see. Do I have to approve anybody else? So we'll get started in a couple of seconds here. Let's just get my screen ready. By the way, just wondering for anybody that's in here, is anybody here from Design Connect or was with us at our booth at Design Connect? Just interested to see if anybody here made it from that day last week. Anybody? Just drop it in the chat if you were at Design Connect. So can everybody see my screen here? Should be Royal Resource. All right.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So I guess we can get started now. Let's see here. Well, let's check up before start. All right, let's get started then. So, first of all, my name's Omar, Omar Gutierrez. I'm marketing manager here at Royal Plywood and also do it for Royal Resource now. So pretty much what this webinar is going to revolve around is we're going to give you a walkthrough of Royal Resource, its features, what you can use it for. And we're also going to go about some color, material, and finish forecast from Colour Hive with Daniel here. So it should be pretty, not short, but to the point. I won't try to belabor too much on all the features because we can really do a lot here, but I'll give you a big picture overview of the main things you can do. But I'll make sure to go through each one and drop questions in the chat as well if you have any. We'll go over them at the end of the webinar. And so, yeah, I guess we can just begin by introducing Royal Resource. So in essence, Royal Resource is, I guess you could say, a software, a digital platform developed by Royal Plywood. And the reason we developed this was because we felt that, we have such a broad range of products that it's really tough to kind of have it all under one umbrella. And so Royal Resource was the idea that, we create a resource for designers, for customers, clients, anybody out there that really has a need to find product information, to even go through all of our wide range of selections. So it's pretty much a place where we kind of house our digital catalog in the sense of our physical products that we hold in stock. So anything you see in Royal Resource is pretty much in our warehouses, either in Chandler, Arizona, Sacramento, California, Cerritos, or in Las Vegas as well. So all these products we hold in stock, just wanted to make that clear. And so I believe this project has been a couple years in the making. If you guys have been around, you might have remembered it as, it was a much different look back in the day. Now we've kind of revamped it and refreshened it up a bit, made it a bit more modern, a bit more user-friendly as well. And so for you guys that are listening in, you're probably designers, you're probably into specifications. And so this is really a super, super valuable tool for you, especially if, you're out there and you're always looking for product information, or you're trying to look for certain products or colors and match certain colors. So I'll show you guys why, how you guys can use this to really kind of save you time, but not only that, also inspire you in your own work and line of work. So yeah, before we start, I do want to say a lot of the features that I will try out here on Royal Resource, you will need to sign up to use them, but you're free to go on Royal Resource. It's completely open to anybody. It is a resource, so there's no sign up to view this page or to view the website. All you have to do is go there, and if you want to use the more advanced features, then you will have to just submit, normal information, email, password, and create an account with us. But yeah, let's get started with this. So at the very start here, we can see it's Royal Resource. As you can see, we have a banner here. This is obviously promoting the webinar we're in right now. And so here's where you can find all the main announcements, new product lines, maybe some new updates as well. So you can just go through this, and this is kind of like the latest we have going on for us. So you can always come here and just look through it. If you scroll a little bit lower, you can see our partners feed. So pretty much what we do here is we spotlight our different brand partners, and we give a little section on them, tell them about, what it is that they do. And here we have also another brand partner of ours, Morocco, and we have some words by their president over there, and Dana as well, which is our president. And so yeah, let's get into it. So at the start here, you can see at the top where I'm pointing, you have I guess you could say the navigation. And up here, it's really simple. It's contact us, eLibrary, social brands, and Royal Marketplace. I'll go into those a bit later, but just in terms of navigation, this is kind of where you can do that. Here we have a menu. And here we have the brand wheel, which is fully functional. You can mess around with this. And so once you click this, you're in Royal Resource. And so once in here, you pretty much get a bird's eye view of everything we hold in stock. And so from here, you have all the different brands. Let's take Formica, for example. We can go in here. And so the important aspect of this part of Royal Resource, of this wheel, is we have to understand that once you've selected a wheel or a brand actually on this carousel, all the products shown below are going to be within that brand. And so as you can see, we can do this for the next brand over. You get a different set of products. We go over, you get a different set of products. And so that's the main function of this wheel. So if you want to see all of our products, then you simply go to Royal Resource, and that's kind of the filter for all the products that fall under Royal Resource. But if you want to get more specific with the brand up here on top. And so from there, let's see, we can go into the tabs. So the main tabs here are products, social, and eLibrary, and inspiration. And so for each of these, I'll do a deep dive on them, but pretty much products shows you a view of all the products from that specific line. Again, we're under Formica, so you're going to see all the products here from Formica, and you can just keep going and going and going, right? And so at the top again, we're back at the tab. You can go to the social. And so here we can see the latest social media posts by Formica, but we have this for every single brand. So again, that's why I say it's important to know that each brand represents a different filter. So if you go to Fenix here, you'll see it's a different feed now. So we go back for Mica. And from here, we can go to eLibrary now. So for you designers, or a lot of you designers here, this might be useful for you to know, this tab here, because this is where we keep a lot of the brochures, the marketing information, maybe even some PDFs that those partners might have in their own websites. You can find them here. On this side, we have the inspiration gallery. And so again, for every brand, we're going to have a set of inspiration images. So these are just images of the products in use. And from here, you can go inside, scroll through them. You can download them as well. Finally, products. So I want to do a bit of a deeper dive into products just because it's super useful to know. So here, once you go into the product section, you'll see that there's a button here that says product documents, contact us. And so product documents is exactly what it refers to. It's going to send you to all of the Formica brand documents. So fabrication briefs, specifications, data sheets. It's all in here for you guys. You know, no more going to vendors' websites and kind of looking through the countless tabs and pages. We really want to streamline that for you because I know you just waste a lot of time trying to find certain documents when you don't have them, you know, easily accessible either in a folder or on your computer. So this is kind of what we try to really close that gap and save you guys time by providing all that information here. As far as the contact us, you can go here and you can select get in touch, pick your branch, your preferred branch, the one that's closest to you. Let's say here's Cerritos, and you can contact our reps directly if you have any questions that maybe weren't covered in the product information page, which I'll show in a bit. And so let's go into the product information here. So here, as you can see, we have a zoom in here for our images so you can see them in high resolution. We have product information. Of course, depending on the product, you'll see different set of information that's specific to that product. We'll see related products down here as well. You can view more, and you can just keep going like this as well. So let's go back. And so here, we're back at the product page. As you can see, there's a number of buttons here as well. Again, product documents we went over. Contact us, we went over as well. Here we have the add to cart, the add to sample cart, add to favorites, share, download images. And so these are pretty self-explanatory. Download image, again, you can download the image so you can share it with either customers, vendors, or just keep it for yourself. Share, again, you can share this link, share this page with someone. You don't have to have an account. You just click it and easily share with anybody who you want to, or who you want to see. And so for this button right here, add to favorites, this is pretty much what it does. It's gonna save. Okay, let's see, it wasn't signed in here. All right, there we go. And so here we can click add to favorites. And so what that does is we can go up to our menu here, go up to your favorites, and you'll see all the saved products here. And you can very easily just click them off and they'll be out. So it's a pretty good way just to, you know, keep track of things, kind of bookmark some products that you frequently use or order. You can keep them all here. Let's go back now. And so I think that is it for this page. Let's see here. It's next on my list. So let me show you the add to cart feature. So it's pretty much if you guys used Amazon or any online vendors, it's very simple and it's very similar. So you can go ahead and just add to cart, go to the sample cart. You can add some notes here. You know, let's say if you want a specific request, you can put that in there for us and we'll try to make sure to handle that for you. And so from here, you can just check out. You can save different addresses as well. So let's try that one. You confirm it. And then you should get a confirmation email on your email, and they'll let you know that your order has been placed. And if you put in a request before 3 p.m., we do send it out the same day. So just something to keep in mind. We do try to keep the shipping speeds pretty small for us here. So yeah, that's the main features of each brand wheel here. And again, you can explore all the different brands we carry. Oops. And as you can see, we have a variety of products, all with different e-library sections, social tabs as well. They're not so active there, but for example, let's take here Swiss Chrono, e-library as well, inspiration images as well. And so you just can keep going with this forever. For Mica as well, I do have to say something I did not mention the first time around. So for example, some of our product lines will have different lines beneath them. So here we have Formica. They have different product lines under them. So here you can filter for those specific product lines as well. So for example, hardstop trim, decorative panels, color core, deco metal. It's just the fast way to kind of filter through them instead of kind of going through them or just going after every page and doing that whole thing manually. It's just a quick way if you already know what you're going for. So yeah, now what I want to talk about is, I think, the most powerful features of Royal Resource, which is the search functions. So for the search functions, there's three main ways to really search, or I guess you could say four. So one way is using the brand wheel here on top, as we just covered. Another way would be the search bar here, which this search bar, what's really cool about it is that it's a smart search. So it means you can put in incomplete information, let's say just the start of a word, or maybe let's just try like BL for like maybe blue or black. So I'll try to come up with something that matches that. Let's see here. Let's make sure we're on the Rural Resource. And there we go. Sounds not working too well, but you can just go ahead and do this as well. If you already have the actual product number, you can just look that up and it will also look for that. So it's just a quick way to kind of get around it if you already know what you're looking for. And so another way to search is the image search here. On this left-hand side tab where I'm pointing, you can see there's a square for take a picture, upload an image, and we also have more filters under that. So you can see we have a color palette, which you can search by color as well. So you can select one, and you can do by image, or you can just filter out different products as well if you already know what you're looking for by brands. So again, another quick way to kind of navigate and filter for results, similar to the brand carousel up on top, but this is kind of a more direct way to check things off here. And if we go down here, we have Indy. So Indy is pretty much our virtual assistant. Her main function is to help you kind of look, or actually, she has some capabilities that allow you to do the product matching tool and the color palette generator. If you guys use this on mobile, you will also see that there's an additional button here that says scan mode. And so scan mode, what scan mode allows you to do is it allows you to interactively work with our books. So if you have any of our books like Chenoyer or some Formica, what is that called? The master portfolio. You can just go ahead and scan the name of each product, and what that will do is it will pop up the product on Rural Resource, and you can just order samples from there. So it's just another quick way to kind of look for products if you know, you don't want to type anything out or you don't want to go through each brand page. You can just do that, and it's a direct way to get your sample. But for here, I have some demos for you. So let's do a product matching tool with the camera. So for, again, if you're on mobile, you can use this with your phone. So you can take a picture, just upload an image from your camera roll. But I have some images here that we've saved from before. For example, I uploaded this picture of a butterfly, right? Let's see here. And so here, what this allows us to do is we can go in here even further. Obviously, as you can see, the results aren't very good because it's capturing the image as a whole. So meaning it's taking all those colors or the dominant colors of the image and trying to find a match for it. But what we can do is we can use the cropping tool. And so all you have to do is click here where it says crop image. And now we can get very surgical on what color we want to capture from that image. So for example, if you want the red from that flower there, go ahead and crop it, find it. This should pop up every color that closely matches that specific image. And so you can do that with any image, any color. It works pretty damn well. You know, even if you don't find the exact match, just make sure you're on the Royal Resource, because remember, this is a filter. So if your brand carousel here is on Formica, it would only search for Formica products. But since we're under Royal Resource, it's searching all of our catalog. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're searching and using this feature. But yeah, let's try another one here. Now this one's one of my favorites. It's a color palette generator. And so what this does is allows you to get a scene or a picture just like before. And so for example, I use this image of a work. We actually supplied some material for this remodel of UCLA Health Center. And so what you can do is put images of rooms here or anything really, and you can pull the colors from that specific image. And this is just great for like mood boards or inspiration, you know, for a project that you might have coming up. It's a good way to kind of pick out colors and see things that might complement each other. And so from here, again, you can just pick a color and go deeper into Rural Resource and see what products match that specific color you just selected. And we could keep doing that with every single one of these. So as you can now see, it's pretty powerful tool when, you know, you're out there just kind of looking for inspiration or looking for things that might match that vibe or that look. So yeah, let's see here. Another feature I did want to mention, or actually I don't want to call it feature. I think it's new kind of addition to Royal Resource. And so this would be our Royal Marketplace. I would say this is still in the experimental phase, but coming up, it's going to be, I think, one of the most powerful features of Royal Resource. And so the interesting thing about the marketplace is that this is not what we hold in stock. This is a completely different section of Royal Resource. So who's in here is brand partners. Let's say like Benjamin Moore. We have, what is it, National Solutions, Shop Floors, Weitzner. And so what we can do here now is you can explore this, by the way, this is all pulled from their catalogs. So you can just go through here, through each section. Let's say you want to look at carpets, and you can find countless carpets again. Use the color palette if you want to search for a specific color. Find it. And so again, it pulls up the closest match. And so now the reason I showed the marketplace was because now I can show you guys how this all works together, Royal Resource, the marketplace, and this cool AI matching technology, right? And so if we go to, let's see, let's take another picture here. So if you see, I just uploaded this picture here. Search it. And so what we can do here is obviously it's pulling the blue from the sky, but again, we can crop this. Let's go back in here. Crop. Let's find something that matches that. So as you can see, it pulled up the closest matches to it. But how does the marketplace play into this? Well, if you see here, there's a filter for it. And what you can do is also filter for the marketplace. And so what this does is it's going to try to pull results that match with that color from the marketplace as well. So if you can see now, you see Benjamin Moore colors that match that specific rock formation, right? And so it's really cool just to get inspired by, either nature or just other rooms or scenes or images that you take in your daily life. And you could even find complementary patterns or colors here now from other vendors that are not necessarily what we hold in stock, but might work nicely with the project you're working in, right? And so really powerful tool if you guys get creative with it. It's personally one of my favorite here. But now we do want to move into Colour Hive and how Colour Hive fits into all of this, right? And so here, as you can see, Colour Hive, we started working with them some months ago. And the reason we love Colour Hive is just because it kind of works in tandem with what we're trying to build here, right? Which is a community of a place where you can come and share your resources, kind of we share our resources and everybody kind of collaborates in this environment, right? But also adding in that color theory and those forecasts kind of take it to a whole new level. So for example, here you'll see some information about Colour Hive and what they're all about. You can learn about their membership here, their consultancy as well. But the coolest part about this is the e-library. And so once you go into the e-library, you will see that Colour Hive, I mean, they've been publishing forecasts and things like this for years now. And so they were kind enough to kind of provide us some content for you guys to look through and to kind of read up on. And so what you can do here is go into one of these, you can read them, you can learn a bit about, the color trends. But the coolest aspect about this is that once you click on any of these images, you get a color palette down here. And so what that palette symbolizes is just the image that you chose. So if we chose these waves here, as you can see, all the blues in that image are showing. Same with this image. And all of these publications are interactive like this. So it just kind of, you know, your mind should be kind of just racing right now with like all the possibilities you can really going through this. So for example, let's look at another one here. Let's do color impressions. As you can see, it's pulling the image, the colors from this image here. And so again, just like before, you can click on any of these that you liked. Let's choose this one right here. And so what you can do with this filter now is either search in Royal Resource, which is all of our in-stock products, or you can search both Royal Resource and the marketplace, or just search the marketplace. And so it's a nice way to kind of, filter out what you want to look for if you already know what you're going for. But if you just want both and just want to see what, the best things we can offer, then you can simply go here. You can use the filters as well if you like. But search. And so what that's going to do now, it's going to show all the results from Royal Resource, but also on the marketplace, which it should be here. Yep, you can see Benjamin Moore. We have some of our products as well that came up. But yeah, the possibilities really are endless with these tools. and really encourage you guys to kind of play around with it and just learn more about it, kind of go through these. They're super informative. As you can see, it's not just images. They really go deep into, the trends and the analysis here. So really interesting and really cool tools and resources here. And now that we're with Colour Hive here, I think this is a perfect time to kind of segue into Daniel's portion of the presentation.
I appreciate that, Omar. Thank you so much. And
Yeah.
congratulations on Royal Resource, super innovative. And I look forward to seeing it grow with users and interaction. So I have a short presentation today, well, semi-short, where I will talk about some of Colour Hive's design, material, color, and finish directions for our 2024 season. I'm going to shortly share my screen. The file I'm sharing today is very big, so I will turn my video off just to maintain some bandwidth integrity. At the end of the presentation, I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. So sit back, relax, and hopefully be inspired. So as I always like to kick off formally and say hello and welcome to our Colour Hive design and CMF directions for our 2024 season. So a little bit about me. My name is Daniel Leduc. I'm the Business Development Director at Colour Hive, but also the Business Editor for Mix Magazine. And as I said previously, today I'll be walking you through a preview of some of our design, color, material, and finish directions from our 2024 season. So a little bit about Colour Hive, if you're not familiar with us. We are a UK-based creative agency, and our focus or main focus is design, color, and material forecasting and analysis. And we are also the proud creators and publishers of Mix Magazine, which is our quarterly forecasting publication for design and color professionals. This now forms part of our Colour Hive membership offering, and it's where we first publish our forecasts. So before I get to the good stuff, I just want to take a brief moment to point out that all of the material I will share today comes directly from our Colour Hive membership offering. So here on the slide, you can see a selection of some of our forecasts and reports. And at the end of my presentation, I'll spend a few minutes just giving a sort of more detailed but very brief overview of the membership offering. So let's look to 2024, where we'll explore the design directions through influences, color palettes, and material and finish applications. Now here at Colour Hive, we forecast 4 design directions for each season. And for 2024, we've named these Memory, Helter Skelter, Provenance, and Submerge. Because time is short today, I have selected 2 of these to present. And so taken from Mix Magazine issue 69 and our color, material, and finish forecast for 2024, our first story today is Provenance. Now, Provenance is a story that reflects our broad concerns about sustainability and, of course, the dangers of greenwashing. But it's also about a new commitment to localism after the supply shocks we've experienced in the last few years. So this quest for provenance and authenticity has really led to a flourishing interest in craft and slow processes. But while this is a story about making, it's also highly digital, looking at how technology can aid transparency and also responsible manufacturing. So I would suggest the complex journey that most products make to market is often seen or could be seen as muddy and obscure. And this is where tech comes in, using blockchain technology to chart circularity from production through to end of sale and beyond, in effect, creating a digital passport. More transparency benefits both manufacturers with sustainable practices, as well as giving consumers more trust in the products they're buying. So land connections, one of the threads emerging from conversations around identity is how this is so often linked to landscape and environment. A sustainable furniture collection created by Bill Amberg's studio in collaboration with the rewilded Nept estate in West Sussex in the United Kingdom uses only materials sourced directly from site. So, for example, the leather is from free-roaming longhorn cattle and also deer, and the ashwood taken from dieback clearance. Dieback is a fungal disease that is attacking ash trees across the UK at the moment, so they're prime and ready for use. Future pigments, from the environmental impact of toxic chemicals in material manufacture to vegan lifestyles, the source of pigment is an increasing subject of interest. The Black Algae collection by clothing designer brand Volbak in partnership with biomaterials company Living Inc. is a quest to replace the polluting carbon black. So every black thing you own is likely to contain carbon black, a pigment derived from petroleum, and the way it is made is not very sustainable. So here algae is grown and then heat treated to concentrate it into a black powder that can be used as pigment. Increasing the sustainable credentials, the collection also features garments that incorporate hemp, pulp eucalyptus, and brown algae. So with that, this is how it all comes together in terms of a style or mood board direction. So provenance is authentic, it's crafted, it's considered, it's sustainable, it's local, it's digital, but it's also engineered. Let's have a look at the color palette for provenance. We have gamboge, sorrel, evergreen, continuity color charcoal, continuity color primer white, fleece, rock salt, and that much needed pop of vermilion. The palette here is designed to be used in simple combinations, really centered around the soft black charcoal and the primer white. Here, yellow runs through both the greens and reds for both complementary harmonies and analogous groups. And with increasing levels of red, there's the light neutral fleece, rock salt, and that vivid vermilion. And these are enhanced by the warm yellow of the gamboge. And to complement the red-based colors, there's a pair of naturally clashing greens with evergreen and the sorrel. So here at Colour Hive, we never like to consider colour in singular format. We love to show the balance and versatility of the palette. And here you can see it in proportions and combinations of 2, 3, and 4 colours. For example, in the duotones of the gamboge and fleece and the rock salt and vermilion. And then complementary suggestions look to sorrel and rock salt and the evergreen and vermilion. So now we can take a deeper dive into material and color applications. So this next section is taken directly from our 2024 CMF Directions Report. And visually, this story references craft values and localism with materials chosen for their authenticity, while 3D printed materials are going to exemplify the marriage of craft and technology. Pattern constructions are pieced and quilted in quite naive formations or algorithmic repeats, and colors are going to create complementary harmonies and analogous groups, all defined by graphic contrasts in black and white. And then to finish provenance, we'll look to muddy finishes and experimental fibers in woven and felted textiles. So with that said, we can kick off digitally printed. Here, craft and technology come together seamlessly in digitally printed design. In the main image here, we have drag and drop sculptural armadillo lampshade made from coconut fiber and PLA. And in the bottom right, Tram's 3D printed ceramics are the designer's interpretations of the fractal geometry and ornate patterns found on the walls and ceilings of the Alhambra Palace in Granada. This is engineered composites, so fine milled composites evolve with an emphasis on localism and engineered form. Studio ARP, they look to local food waste with their project A-Peel. This series of citrus squeezers shown in the center here are made from orange peel and pectin. And Sep Verboom's project in the bottom right combines reeds and grasses from local streams with biopolymers to form a new circular material. Now for some provenance pattern directions, and this is algorithmic repeats. Combining craft and tech together really brings a new dimension to repeat patterns. In her project Outline Stroke, shown in the top right here, Stav Ragun Lieberman develops a new digital craft method for a series of accessories and home decor made from scrap linen with digitally printed repeats. And Studio GDB's custom tiles there in the bottom right are the result of allowing a computer-controlled application of the liquid glaze. Now for some important color combinations from the Provenance palette. This is Graphic Glow with that sharp foundation of primer white and charcoal. Saturated warm yellow gamboge really delivers a classic accent, while the warm neutral of fleece brings a welcome note of softness. The graphic yet natural quality of this group makes for effortless application in traditional craft-inspired interiors and objects, as we're showing here across the slide. Next up is Softly Softly, clean primer white, softened by ascending levels of warmth through the pale neutral fleece and the mid-tone rock salt. This is a combination that is comforting and evocative of natural materials. It's really designed for effective home and interior use, from textiles and wall coverings to furniture and decorative art. Striking nature, the boldest warm colors here, vermilion and gamboge, they're combined with a soft graphic duo of charcoal and fleece and the complementary green sorrel, designed to make a statement and really deliver a narrative through color. Fashion, hospitality, and family groups of objects are natural outcomes. So we can now finish off Provenance with our muddy finish direction. So finishes here are informed by the textural qualities found in mud. Inspired by prehistoric African building techniques, Willem van Hoof's vessel series appears mud-like through glazed earthenware shown on the far left, and in the bottom right, Rob van Heren's traditional coiled beehives are smeared and compacted with cow dung to protect and waterproof the hive surface. Now it's time for Submerge, also taken from Mix Magazine issue 69 and our color material and finish forecast for 2024. So Submerge is a story that charts how our relationship with water is evolving and is often seen as being contradictory. So these conflicting feelings of allure and anxiety bubble under the surface. We seek out blue spaces for relaxation, yet anxiety about the precarity of water, too much or too little, really informs everything from fiction to urban planning. So in terms of blue spaces, while much of the focus on well-being has really highlighted green spaces, now the health benefits of blue spaces, from stress relief to reduced inflammation, are being explored scientifically. A review published by the Environment Agency found that blue spaces were associated with improvement of mood and feelings of restoration to a far greater degree than green spaces. But along with the positive associations with water, there are also underlying anxieties that really feed into the submerged narrative. Against a backdrop of rising sea levels and risk of flooding, there's a new move to stop trying to control water and instead adopt less invasive approaches. And a wonderful example would be this movement towards sponge cities, which are being designed to absorb and capture rainwater. A super sort of important influence here, concerns around increasingly unpredictable weather patterns also feed into the growing popularity of this driver for submerged climate fiction, or as we like to call it, cli-fi. We've always been fascinated by kingdoms underneath the sea. Almost every culture has a version of the Atlantis myth. But in this context, cli-fi has a role to play in the way we process our collective worries about climate change. It's as a sort of fictionalized way to understand and make sense of the abstract science theories behind climate prediction. So as we did for provenance, here's an overview in terms of style direction or mood board direction for submerge. It's going to be immersive and evocative. It's layered, it's liquid, it's buoyant. It's from the sea and it encompasses the sort of cli-fi direction. Now for the submerged color palette, we have Riverweed, Continuity Color Evergrey, Continuity Color Dewdrop, Continuity Color True Turquoise, Atlantis, Blue Wash, Continuity Color Marine, and Deep Viridian. Now in a relatively narrow blue-green palette, the harmonies here are quite evident, inspired by fantasy Aegean blues. True Turquoise and Atlantis are really the powerful core of the group, with Blue Wash bringing in that much needed softer note. These dynamic blues are offset by the greenish grays of inland waterways in the Riverweed and Evergrey, and with inky depth, Marine and Deep Viridian really act as anchors for the group. I want to also show this palette in proportions and combinations of 2, 3, and 4 colors. It's deceptively simple, but this palette really delivers both elegant and dynamic combinations. We have a graphic pair with the Dewdrop and Deep Viridian, duotones with True Turquoise and Marine, and analogous trios with Evergrey, Riverweed, and Blue Wash, but also with Dewdrop, Deep Viridian, and Atlantis. Now for some of the material and color applications. So visually, Submerged really explores the physical qualities of water in surface and pattern, while other materials are directly sourced from the sea. And color, as we've seen, explores the diversity of water, and finishes are inspired by practical human responses to repelling finishes and wet-looked effects. So let's kick off with inflatable. This is a really fun direction. Again, human responses to water, really inspiring this buoyant and sort of inflatable materials. I think often perceived as single-use objects, Romain Albers manipulates and assembles inflatable toys to create his expendable chair in the main image to the left here. And Plopstool by Zieta in the center obtain their inflated form through the innovative process where 2D steel shapes are welded together around their edges and inflated under high pressure. And to achieve the cosmic blue hue, the steel is thermal colored as part of the heat collection. Liquid states a really important material direction here for 2024. The precarity of water really being echoed in materials that visually encapsulate liquids' changing states. Jeff Zimmerman's amorphous glass sculptures appear liquid-like, echoing water's rippling physicality, an effect that's heightened by an intensely reflective blue mirrored finish. That's shown there in the top right. And achieving a similar aesthetic, water's movements are caught in solid form in Dorian Renard's twisted and distorted acrylic side table. That's the beautiful image there on the left. And Hannah Rowan's work captures the quality of water between states of matter. The ice is placed inside the hand-blown vessel first as a solid crystal. This then melts into a flowing liquid before cooling and condensing within the glass. That's the item in the bottom right. So a pattern direction for submerge. This is aquaflage, really riffing on camouflage here. Patterns explore the physical qualities of water, replicating its refractions and rippled effects. Tom Gollard's wet look textiles capture the bouncing reflections of natural light, really echoing the effects of light distortion on water shown there in the bottom right. And aquaflage effects are also achieved by Anna Rosé, where patterns are digitally generated and then materialized to evoke feelings of artificiality in anti-shape, the main image to the left. Now some of those important color combos, and we couldn't start without Colour Hive blues, the high chroma, no holds barred duo of true turquoise and green cast Atlantis are an almost otherworldly expression of an aquatic theme. Subtlety and nuance are not the aim here, with colors designed to be illuminated and rendered digitally for the full fantasy effect. So immersive surfaces and spaces and scroll stopping campaigns are the perfect applications for this color combo. Urban waterways, probably one of the most important color combinations for 2024. It's unassuming, yet it's intriguing. While yellow is a common undertone, the varied expression from neutral evergrey to heavily shaded riverweed and clear tinted dewdrop creates nuance and also complexity. This is an effective combination for wherever color subtlety is integral to the design outcome. Because blues are so important, we've got aquatic accents here. There's a clinical quality to this group with the warm stone-like quality of evergrey combined with that pale, clean yellow-green dewdrop and the accent of saturated blue-green Atlantis. Here you can see glass and ceramics are a natural application with live edge effects, transparent layers, and glossy glazes. So to finish off provenance, we'll look at the wet look finish direction. The rise in sea levels prompts an uncomfortable curiosity for finishes that appear wet and drenched. Luca Holzinger interprets flowing water in his leather and 3D printed footwear, shown in the center of the slide here. And glass surfaces resemble a pool of water reflecting light in Annalisa Lacopetti's side table, which is made from waste Murano glass in the far left. And Studio Wrap fuse 3D clay printing, computational design, and artisanal glazing to achieve flooded effects in the Delft Blue Porcelain project in the bottom right. Well, I do hope you found the stories I've spoken about today inspiring. And if you has, as I said before, you would probably be interested to find out what a Colour Hive membership subscription looks like. So from concept to application, Colour Hive membership is the ultimate resource for color and material forecasting and design professionals. Membership provides access to all of our forecasting reports. This includes Mix Magazine, CMF directions, signals, global colors, geographic colors, color impressions, geographic focus, and access to digital color palettes, archive, and editorial images. So as I said, Mix Magazine is the start of our forecast. So members have access to Mix Magazine in both print and digital format. In each issue, you'll find 2 design directions with overviews. We publish 2 issues per season, so 4 per subscription. The magazine also includes insight on the influences with features and essays, all of the color palettes, the surface and pattern directions. And of course, while we look at things from a global perspective, we also have to look at things in terms of geographic and color nuances for the regions we cover around the world. You'll have access to color flows, continuity colors, color observations, and color references as sort of access to a color planning tool. There are sort of mixed messages, thought-provoking looks at the micro drivers, Color Now, where we look at the color stories a year on from publication in terms of early adopters, and lots of interesting color stories. We have interviews, and every magazine has a focus, and this can be anything from art to a design week in Milan to Stockholm Furniture and Light Fair. Along with the printed and digital version through our portal, you also have access to an application where you can access the digital archive. This gives members access to all Mix magazines as far back as 2016 when we first went digital. Then, of course, you get access to our CMF directions report, 2 per season. Within the CMF directions report, you'll have overviews, color palettes, directions or CMF directions with focuses along with them. And then, of course, the signals reports, again, 2 per subscription. So taking a much deeper dive and looking at some of these social and market signals related to the season's drivers and design directions. So from society and culture, tech and innovation, environment, politics and economics, we feature projects or initiatives and news that sort of showcases indicators for emerging moods and preferences. We have the Global Colors Report. This is an essential color planning tool. It features the season's color flow, continuity colors, key observations, evolutions, and also color development for the previous season and current. Geographic colors, so featuring the geographic color nuances for all of the regions we cover. So if you're working on projects for Europe, the Middle East, Africa, North America, Latin America, Asia, India, Australia, New Zealand, we've got those regions covered in terms of color changes. Then digital color palettes. So as members, you can immediately download our .ase and .aco file color palettes. So you can start using our forecasted color palettes directly with your Color Suite software. Then we have color impressions. So stepping back a little bit, taking the full season color forecast. Here we show wider observations sort of that are made in viewing the colors and how they function as a complete collection. So from use in cohesive groups to standalone statements, applications for the complete season's colors are illustrated through real-world color stories. And then we have geographic focus. So viewing our design directions through the work of regional designers for an inspiring local perspective. And our hope is that members will discover new names or new sort of products, designs, processes to connect with or collaborate with. So each design direction is expressed through the work of designers and creators from across all of the regions I mentioned previously. And then also members have access to all of our images for internal personal use. So you can use these for creating mood boards, internal sort of presentations, client pitch presentations. They just cannot be published publicly without express permission from the image owner. So that brings my membership and insight session to an end. The cost for membership, which includes access to 2 complete seasons, is generally £1,200. But as a commitment to Royal Resource and our partnership and hopefully the network we hope to build, Royal Resource attendees or people who register to the site are being afforded £150 discount, with use of the code RR. £150. You subscribe directly through the Colour Hive website, and there are also options to pay monthly, allowing you to spread the cost over the year if that helps. Well, as I promised, I said I would turn my camera back on at the end, and I welcome any questions that anyone may have. Please feel free to put them in the chat box, or even turn your mic on if the setting allows. Oh, you can't turn the mic on. Okay, fair enough. Well, if you have a question, just type it in the message box.
So if you guys have a question, please go ahead and react or raise your hand, and I can unmute the mic for you. So if you guys want to ask a question and don't want to type it out, I can go ahead and just unmute you guys. Let's see, Camille has a question. Let's see, so Camille's question, can you save favorites to separate job files? Okay, so this is about Royal Resource. So as a show the feature, let's see if I can share my screen real quick. Yeah, so actually you can save products, add to favorites, but yeah, we don't have a filter to categorize them yet. So they will all just be bunched up into your favorites. But we do hope to maybe add filters to that or project or folders in a sense, so you can add your favorites to certain folders and keep them organized that way. So yeah. Any more questions?
Yeah, there was one there. I'm just doing a quick conversion because it obviously depends on the exchange rate. But based on the exchange rate today, Camille, you'd be looking at around $1,300 US. And Dean has asked if we can elaborate on Colour Hive's methodology for identifying future color trends. Yeah, I can do that a little bit, but that possibly is a whole new webinar, as it were. I think just to make clear, we're not a group of people sort of sitting in a room deciding what's hot and what's not. We have a very stringent process. We work through what we call or refer to as a panel meeting process. And we work with industry professionals across all industries in all varying parts of the world. And we start off looking at things conceptually. We then bring that down to what we call sort of industry level, making things commercially viable. And then again, working with industry professionals all around our different regions to look at how the global perspective changes regionally for those particular nuances. Sorry, can you explain more about the color programs? Like they are computer applications. I'm not sure I follow that question. When you say color programs, can you elaborate on that?
I can go ahead and unmute you if you'd like.
Does Colour have anything like a CEU available in the US? A continuing education unit, if I've understood that correctly. We are not, but it is definitely something we are looking at. I think the sort of there are issues related to that, but we do often present globally, and you may find us at trade shows or if you sign up to the Colour Hive newsletter, you will often get an invitation to attend insight sessions or look at things that we're doing around the world. Color programs. So I think probably I should clarify that when I mentioned color programs, I was specifically referring to color systems. And so this means color systems like RAL or NCS or Pantone, RGB codes, and so forth. We do have digital color palettes. Those are digital color palettes that you can upload to your Creative Suite software like Illustrator, Photoshop, or InDesign, where you can immediately start using the color palettes in your design process. Thank you, Katie. Great to see that you logged in. Appreciate the kind words.
David, how often is the color palette generator on the Royal technology updated? Good question. So for that, we're continuously tweaking and improving it. So sometimes, I think some weeks back, we had an issue where there was only like showing 3 colors, and we updated that to more colors. But it's definitely getting updated pretty regularly, and we're always monitoring the results as well. So we're pretty on top of it. Yeah, if that answers your question.
We're checking we didn't miss anything. Oh, just jumping back to Dean's question here, especially how global influences and sustainability shape your forecasts in regions. Well, everything is driven by an influence. You know, that is the essentially the starting point. It's what drives the process. Sustainability probably being one of the most important trend drivers for the last 15 years, and of course, it's only getting stronger. So yeah, you know, both are integral to the process, and that is globally, you know, so encompassing all regions.
Thank you, Dean. Any more questions here? Resource or Colour Hive? Any comments, concerns, feedback, questions? Thank you, David. Yeah, and again, it's all free to use, at least what we have in Royal Resource. It's all open to the public. So you know, again, if you just want to use the more advanced features like download images or order samples, you will have to sign up for it. But besides that, the Colour Hive publications are all there for everybody to see and to learn from. Thanks, Camille. And yeah, it's a great tool for just designers, again, to get quick inspiration, product information, you know, anything. We're really trying to keep it all in one place. So I hope you guys found it useful.
Most welcome, Priscilla. Thanks for joining.
Yep. Thanks,
All
Billy.
right.
I guess that's all for questions. So I'll end this in a couple of seconds here if nobody else has anything to say.
Well, on that note, it is now 10 past 9 p.m. my time, so
Yeah,
officially finishing for the day.
exactly.
I appreciate everyone signing on today, and you know, please continue to log into Royal Resource and check out Colour Hive's content. It really is a useful tool on both sides.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate the time.
Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.